Really get all right. Every now and then you get a chance to chop it up with a guy named Piers Cross. Pierce, how you doing?
I am pretty good, thank you. Yeah, it's late afternoon in West Yorkshire, so it's I'm doing good. How are you
Get up
today,
at
Chris?
4 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
5 o'clock now, yeah.
Oh wow. Is it dark over there already? Because right now, um, yeah, I was gonna say right now around 5 o'clock here in Vegas, it gets dark like crazy because of the whole fall back thing.
Yeah. So it's dark now. It gets down to about 3:30 that it gets dark.
Wow.
In winter, so kind of solstice, winter solstice. Now it's about yeah. There's still a bit of light on the horizons. About 4:30, quarter to five. So
So
there's yeah.
I promised you we'd do the greatest 8-minute podcast in human history. Talk a little bit about what you do.
So I am a coach. I run a company called Compassionate Leaders Global. So I work with leaders, teaching them about emotional intelligence, compassion. I'm also a documentary producer. I produced a film this year called Boarding on Insanity, which is
I love that. I mean, I
talking
love the
about,
name.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's about basically so many of our global leaders have been to boarding school, from Donald Trump to Mark Zuckerberg to the former FBI director to
Really?
Boris Johnson, Rupert Murdoch. They've all been to these institutions, and the research shows that they're very damaging and they basically can affect us developmentally, cause trauma. And the question of the documentary in my work is, well, what's the impact on the rest of the world?
Well, Trumpy became president. That's one impact. I think he's had a pretty big impact.
Yeah. And Boris Johnson, David Cameron from 1997 in the UK through till 2022, probably 19 years out of those 26 years were boarding school led leaders who were in charge.
Yeah.
So,
What are
yeah,
three things that you've learned by doing your podcast?
that boarding school is damaging
Yeah.
and that all of the experts basically agree. I spoke to one of the leading clinical psychologists globally. He's published over 300 papers, 30 books, and he says boarding school is a ridiculous psychology. And he went to boarding school himself. So three things I've learnt. Another thing is just about leadership. Leadership's changing. It's moving from the command and control, you do as I say, to, yeah, love, to emotional intelligence, to compassion. And the third thing I've learned is that people are so courageous. So many have shared their stories. Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's brother, he came on and shared his story of abuse. And it's just, yeah, the courage people have to actually face up to their trauma.
Interesting. As you start peeling away the layers and learning all this stuff on your journey, what are some of the more interesting conversations you've had? Like, t tell me your best conversation you've had that's literally enlightened you and woken you up and said, "Wow, this was amazing."
I think it's difficult to put my hand down on one thing. I would say I really enjoyed the conversation with Graham Music, who's a psychotherapist, a lecturer, or he teaches around, um, you know, attachment theory, and we just had a fascinating conversation about boarding school neglect. And, the research shows that neglect is even more damaging than abuse. And that's what these schools are teaching, are offering is neglect because there's one adult to 50 children
So,
in most cases.
so talk a little bit about, some of the things that you've learned about what the damage is done to people that go to boarding schools. Psychological damages are the ones that I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, so basically the main one, which I think is the most important for leadership, is emotional repression. So we just have no EQ. So we essentially repress our emotions because they're not accepted in these environments. It's focused all on the mind, IQ, and I think that's one of the most damaging. Another one's relationships, which comes out of the EQ. We really struggle in intimacy, but leadership is all about relationships, as Kuzan and Posner write in the Leadership Challenge. So that basically for me is, well, if you can't do emotions, you can't do relationships, you're going to really struggle in business. And what other things have I learned? Addictions, workaholism. These are common symptoms which come out. We can't stop. And a lot of my clients end up with burnout because they pushed and pushed and pushed until they can't go any further.
Interesting. So I like to leave things on a positive note. Tell somebody that's watching this interview right now something that will inspire them to live their best life, things that you've learned from this journey of yours.
Yeah, so I think for me, IQ is it's difficult to change the level of IQ, but EQ you can develop. So even if you've had a challenging childhood, you can grow your EQ, you can learn, you can do meditation, you can do, connect with other people, you can learn vulnerability. And I think it's very positive. It's certainly coming from the US, from you guys, that leadership is changing and that needs to flow out to the rest of the world. So I think it's very positive.
I agree. Hey, listen, we got to chop it up again sometime soon. I know you got the whole daylight savings thing going on over there. I wish you nothing but the best on your journey of discovery. I think that's really what you're doing is you're discovering things and you're sharing that. And I think that's what people benefit from most. If you guys get a chance, check out what he's doing on his podcast. I think you'll learn something.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, and bless you for your work and what you're doing. Take care.
Appreciate it, brother.